Hi, today I'm going to go through activities management and give you an overview on how to time block your business so that you can maximize your output. This is a momentum course and it's called Activities Management, and it's really the foundational piece to setting yourself up really to be successful. So the first thing I want you just to kind of think about is having 5 tools of intent. And momentum is all about being proactive and intentional. So a lot of times we don't take a bird's eye view at our business. So if you think about it, a thriving business results from knowing the answers to 5 important questions. And in my line of work, I deal with so many different realtors at so many different production levels, but we all have 24 hours in a day. So our only limit is time. And it's fascinating how I can see people perform at all these different levels. And it really does come down to the choices you make and the focus that you really give into each area of your business. So if we think about the 5 questions, it really comes down to thriving is understanding why we're doing the things we're doing, what we're actually doing, how we're going to do it, who gets to do what, and when is it accomplished. And so really it's diving into these core philosophies of understanding your why, what, how, who, and when. And we're going to flip those into momentum as far as your why is going to be all around your entrepreneur's mantra. And your entrepreneur's mantra is really something that you wake up every morning and throughout the day, you need to be repeating not only out loud, but to yourself. And the entrepreneur's mantra is, it is unacceptable for my business to profit less than X. So you have to understand what you're working towards and why. So you have to establish your business budget and your personal budget. That will create your lifestyle number, which will then become your entrepreneur's mantra. So we don't speak in terms of, oh, I hope I can make $100,000, or if I make 100,000, then that'll be good. Or I guess if I make 50, I'm okay. No, we need to start saying it's unacceptable if this doesn't happen. And the minute you say something is unacceptable, kind of drawing the line in the sand, it really infuses into your subconscious, and your direction and your proactiveness and your intentionality all kicks into high gear. But it's not something that you just say one time. Like, oh, it's unacceptable if my business profits less than $150,000 this year. You need to be saying that on a regular basis. So every morning. And I really recommend that people take that entrepreneur's mantra and laminate it and put it in their office so that you can reflect on that every morning as you start your day. We're then going to figure out your economic model. And that's just going to tell us, what do we need to do? How are we going to realize our entrepreneur's mantra? What are we going to do? And then we're going to dive into the operational model. And these are all core competencies that you're going to learn over time by attending the momentum courses repeatedly. It is not a once and done type thing. You really need to dive in so that all of this material can get into your DNA. Then we're going to figure out who's going to do what. And it's so important that you're really focused on what exactly that has to be done, and that you're doing things that are vital to your business and not just doing a bunch of busy work. So if you're the only one in your business right now, then you are doing everything. So you have to be laser focused, and you have to get into really good routines, and you have to time block your business so that you can continually move your business forward while servicing your clients at a very high level. And then when it's going to be done is what we're going to talk about today, which is your AMS, your activities management system. So we know that we can't manage time or control time. We already know that. So I hope that you'll never say time management again. I hope that all you're thinking about is, what are my actions? What are my activities? It's activity management, not time management. So we need to just stop even saying that anymore and just realize it's, when people tell me, oh, well, I didn't have time to do that. Well, the reason it wasn't done is just because it wasn't a priority, which is fine. So don't say those same limited beliefs to yourself, like, oh, I didn't have time to get that done. You absolutely have time for anything that's a priority. I've never in 19 years in real estate heard anybody say, I didn't have time to go to the closing. It doesn't happen, right? Because that's a priority. So I would like for you to start training yourself to not get into the limited belief of, oh, I just didn't have enough time. You need to take full ownership and just say, you know what? It wasn't a priority. I didn't do it because it wasn't a priority. So you need to take ownership for the things that you say you don't have time for. And really, I hope that you'll never say that again. So we know that you can control your activities and you can manage them. So what we want you to do is think about, okay, each Sunday, I want you to start creating your career budget of time for the week. So, and I just encourage people to do this on a weekly basis, not try to set it up for a month or, oh, this quarter I'm going to do this. What I find is a lot of times we can have a bad week. And we can have those limited beliefs of, oh, I didn't have time to get that done, or oops, I didn't do my lead generating, uh-oh. And unfortunately, if we don't correct quickly, a week will turn into a month, which turns into 2 months, and before we know it, we're already to the end of May, and oh my gosh, I've only had 3 closings, but my entrepreneur's mantra was to have 36. So readdressing every Sunday will get you back on course quickly, rather than letting that spill over into another week. It also gives you time to self-reflect, and you can look back on your week and say, I wish I had, or I'm glad I did. And you want to start doing that on a weekly basis. Start using that muscle, whether it's Monday morning, Sunday night, it doesn't matter the day that you do it, but you need to look and say, okay, how did I do in my 4 blocks last week? What got me off track? Why did I write something down and I didn't do it? Was it just not a priority and I shouldn't have written it down? Or did I make bad choices? And then you're going to predict how many hours you're going to work the following week and fill in your calendar, and you're going to set this up so that you know what you should be doing in the allotted time slot during the week. So it's a very, very effective way to run your business and get a lot of stuff done in a short amount of time. So we're going to have just 4 categories. That's it. Well, I add a 5th because you might be off, right? So you can schedule in your off time. I know several people that will take 2 hours off in the middle of the afternoon just to kind of regroup, and they have their own little downtime. Some people meditate. I have some people that take a yoga class in the middle of the day. Some people like to go and walk their dog. Some people just like to take a power nap. The beauty is that you get to control your career hours, but you need to stick to it. So if you don't feel like working 8 to 5, then don't create a calendar that says you're going to be working from 8 to 5. Build some time in for when you are going to take calls or when you are going to take some time off. I have a lot of people also that's very effective. It's what I did when I was selling. I would take 2 or 3 or 4 half days off. And when I got in the mood to be off, I was completely off. There was no guilt. It was my choice. I was choosing to do that. But when I was working, I was working. So time blocking when I was doing it was very, very effective. And then I kind of moved away from it. So I could really call it time blocking. I wasn't really activity blocking back then. I didn't have these great categories that really keep you laser focused. But you're going to have lead generation, and we just kind of shorten these to LG, LC, CC, and PD, and then O for off. But it's lead generation. You have to be proactively and intentionally prospecting, marketing, studying, and practicing what you're doing to get new opportunities into your business. And I recommend 4 hours a week. This is for someone that already has business, already has themselves established. And so I'll show you how this can move and be very fluid. But if you've been in real estate for a while and you have a book of business and you have a database that has already been categorized, built, and sorted and qualified, An hour a day of proactive and intentional lead generation, 4 days a week, maybe 5, is really all you need. And I almost feel guilty saying that, because I'll have other people go, you mean I could have much more? See, most people don't even do an hour a week. They do so sporadic that if they actually had a camera attached to them and the light went on every time they were proactively doing lead generation, it probably wouldn't buzz much. It probably would not go on much. It's just the reality of it. I see people. I watch their habits. I listen to what they tell me. Really, your results in your business are a complete reflection of your habits. So if you don't have any good habits, it's hard to have a good business. You've got to put these habits in place. And following up after your lead generation hour would be an hour of lead conversion. Those are two very different things. Conversion is all in the meetings, the appointments, the getting someone that's in your database or getting someone that has already initiated contact to the next step. And the next step will always be a face-to-face encounter. So unless you're planning on running an internet-based real estate company, you need to be in front of people, and you should have an appointment goal every single week. I often tell people it's great that you have your entrepreneur's mantra, but I need to know how many appointments you are trying to go on proactively and intentionally every week. You've got to be in front of people. You have to be. If you go 2 or 3 weeks without an appointment, I'd be very, very nervous. I'd be very nervous about my business. You are not really rewarding yourself. You're not rewarding the work by being in front of someone if you're not having weekly appointments. You're just not. So you have to just kind of have a realization about what these activities look like. What do the lead generation activities look like? What do the lead conversion activities look like? And if you don't know, you need to seek help. Don't just try to wing it. Don't just try to figure it out. If you're trying to look at other people and see what they do, you're not understanding what they're doing. You're not going to learn and start to get habits unless you are physically doing the activities over and over and over again. So consistency in order to have a thriving business is absolutely, it's a must. If you're not consistent, you will not have a thriving business. You just won't. It cannot happen. Won't happen. And I hate to be so brutal, but it's just the cruel reality of it. We've got to become consistent first. Then we have client care, and most people love this part because this is when you have either a buyer brokerage agreement signed or a listing agreement signed, and you have current clients to service. We love the client care stuff. But if we don't lead generate and lead convert, there is no client care. That will never occur for you. So you want to get really good, and you want to stay vital, and you need to schedule in times during the day where you're going to be servicing your clients. And then you're going to have personal development. So this is all your consulting, training, accountability, masterminding, networking, going to classes, learning the tools of the trade, the mechanics of the business. This is when you need to be dedicating time every week into personal development. So if you're a brand new agent, you're going to be heavy on the personal development and heavy on the lead generation. Your client care, you're not going to have anything scheduled if you don't have any clients. So if you're working a 40-hour week, then you have a lot of stuff to learn and you have a lot of leads to generate. But you've got to be filling that time block of how much are you committed to your career. I can assure you this, though. There will never be full-time pay for part-time work. Never. It isn't in real estate. So if you got in thinking, oh, if I sell a few homes here or there, I'll make all this money. Trust me, that's not the reality. It's not the reality. And what you make is not what you get to keep. And it's not cheap to stay in this business. It's cheap to get in, but it's not cheap to stay in. So you got to be smart. You've got to say, I got into this it's a job. And if you want to make part-time money, it's going to be reflected in the hours that you commit into your career. So that's the first choice. I find it very difficult for people that are in the industry part-time to really get any level of success at all. It requires full-time effort, which in my book is 40 to 50 hours a week. That's just what it is. So you're going to have, this will all change. Your weekly budgets will change because all of a sudden you might have 6 clients. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have a lot more hours of client care this week than lead generation, which I can never take my foot off the gas. So you never want to bypass the lead generation, no matter how much business you have coming on. And that way, that's why if you're only doing it for an hour and it's focused, you can keep your business moving forward. Each day that goes by that you didn't proactively try to generate a lead, it doesn't matter whether you got a lead. See, most people equate, I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm going to get a client. I'm going to mail out a postcard and I'm going to get a client. And that is not the way it works. And that's not the way you should view it. You should feel good about the activities that you do, and you should have faith and live in that a world of abundance mindset that if I put in the effort, I will get the return. Not going to get it today, perhaps. It's like the 90-day rule. What you do today in real estate will pay off in 90 days. So never look for the return to come the day you're doing the activity. Don't look for that. That's the problem. And that's why people abandon so many activities, because they don't get an immediate result. So they say, oh, I guess this doesn't work. And that's not the way that is why so many people get out of real estate. They just don't get the fundamentals down, and they don't get good at anything because they don't do it consistently enough. So you have to be thinking about these 4 categories. Again, LG, LC, CC, PD, and then there's times that you're just off. So business owner versus realtor. So you think about like why you got into real estate. Everyone's going to have a different picture of why they got into real estate. It's going to look different for all of us. And when we think about being a realtor, we all have a different vision of what that looks like. Most people are not thinking, I'm going to go get my real estate license because I want to own a business and I want to do all the different things. I want to be the marketing, and I want to be the customer service, and I want to be the CEO, and I want to be the CFO, and I want to, generate business and take care of the books and pay my taxes and do all this. Most people are not thinking that. They're thinking, oh, I think it would kind of be cool to show people houses and write offers and go to closings and drive a nice car. I mean, the vision of what this really is and what you're stepping into oftentimes will not be what turns out to be reality. Your vision will not match the reality of this business. And even if you've been in business for a while and you're hearing this, you can probably think back to, oh my God, it's so not what I thought it was going to be. And you can do a little bit of self-reflection here. But the thing I want you to realize is that growing a business, generating leads and converting leads has nothing to do with your skill set as a realtor. Nothing to do with being a realtor. This is being a business owner. A good business owner knows how to generate and convert leads. That's a good business owner. There's not a business out on the planet that needs money to survive that can do so without clients, without customers, without somebody paying for something to happen. So I get I'm not in sales, I'm helping people. I don't care. You still need a person to help. And the only way you're going to get a person to help is if you lead generate and convert. Now, if you have a big budget, you can actually outsource the lead generation. You cannot outsource the lead conversion. So you need to be working on your skill set of building rapport, making a friend, asking good questions, solving people's problems, offering your expertise and your systems, your processes that you take people through so that they want to work with you. But business owner activities are lead generation and lead conversion. Realtor activities are when you're actually working with a client, when you have a buyer, when you have a listing, and then personal development. You're always doing personal development to work on, well, sometimes you're working on business owner skills, right? You're learning how to generate more leads, learning how to convert, but you're also going to classes on how to use the purchase and sale agreement and how to, figure out these exhibits. And so you're always kind of working on the realtor function in client care and personal development. So you have to realize when you get into lead generation, lead conversion, take your realtor hat off. It has nothing to do with you being a realtor. Then when you get on the appointment, when you actually get to go and meet with someone and have an appointment, then you get into realtor mode. So most people get ahead during the time others waste. So you have to be intentional and proactive. It is so important that you understand everything that you need to do instead of getting up and opening your email to determine how your day is going to go. You've got to take control of your day and you've got to manage your schedule. If you don't manage your schedule, you're going to have a very difficult time getting ahead in this business and having a business that's really worth owning. Remember, there's a lot of risk in being a business owner. We risk no income. We have to work a lot of hours. We do not have a steady paycheck. We don't have our taxes taken out and paid for us. We don't have paid vacation. We don't have sick leave. We don't have health benefits. Geez, it sounds great to be a realtor, doesn't it? I mean, you got to think about it. We take a lot of risk. So if you're going to take on this risk, you've got to get the reward. The reward is huge. Love the reward, but you got to work for it. And you got to be smart. You have to be smart and proactive and intentional. So what we want to make sure is that you have specific time parameters set up for what you're going to do to invest in your business. So you have to look at it on Sunday and say, okay, what do I already have planned this week? And put your activities that are already, oh, I have a closing on Tuesday from 10 to 12. Well, if it's from 10 to 12, then it's probably from 9 to 1 because you got to get there. You might have a walkthrough before. You got to build in some time for something to go wrong. Maybe after that, you decided that you're going to take your client out to lunch. So now it's going to be lunch. It's like, oh my God, the whole day is already shot. Like Tuesday, you're just going to be in CC mode. You're not going to do anything after that. You're not going to want to generate a lead when you're walking away with a big fat check. You're going to say, hoo-hoo, I'm off, which is fine, but plan for it ahead of time. Hopefully you're like, good, I got one down and I have a listing appointment at 3 o'clock. I hope this closing and lunch doesn't take too long. Like that's where you need to be thinking. That's what you want to be filling your calendar up. Very unlikely that you'll lead generate after you've had a closing. Most people are much better in the morning when they do their lead generation. So we have to make sure that you prioritize your activities and then you stay proactive. So the steps kind of here are define the career hours for the week. You might be like, you know what, Thursday and Friday I'm taking off. I have this recital, I have this, I have a shower to go to, blah, blah, blah. So now you're already down to 2 days that week. So then you can say, okay, I'm going to bump it up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I already have 2 showings on Saturday. So now you have to fill that in, right? So you know, okay, I'm going to work 38 hours this week, or I'm going to work 61 hours. Then you want to identify those blocks and put them in a day planner. You're going to record everything that you're doing. So make sure that it's a vital activity and you need to stay engaged for the entire block. So I always recommend 1-hour blocks and then taking a 10-minute break. And then if you're going to focus on another hour, go ahead and then do another hour. Or do 50 minutes and then a 10-minute break if you want to start directly into the next hour. But I want you to stay engaged for the entire block, and I want you to stay just in that block. So if you're doing lead generating activities, then you need to do just lead generating activities. Have your phone on Do Not Disturb so nothing inbound comes, no notifications on, and have the only program that is open is the one that you're utilizing for your lead generation. So if I was going to be calling expireds and FSBOs, I would only have RedX open on my computer and I'd be making my outgoing phone calls and taking notes, right? If I'm working by referral, I'm going to spend that hour calling people in my sphere of influence. Hey, do you need any help? Hey, this has been a crazy year in real estate. I was wondering, have you been thinking about selling this year? I just wanted to check in. Hey, do you have anybody that you know that needs help? This is a fantastic time to be in the market. Didn't know if you heard anybody. Or, hey, how you doing today? Just thought I'd call and check to see how you are, right? So you have specific activities. Everyone that you've ever closed a house on should be getting a phone call that week every year. So if they closed on May 25th, 10 years ago, they should be getting a phone call the week of May 25th saying, oh my gosh, it's your anniversary week, 10 years in your house. How awesome is that? I mean, we're not making these calls. You've got to be happy birthday, happy Mother's Day. Like, we need to be making the calls. So whatever it is, do the calls or personal notes or getting your newsletter ready or putting people on safe searches, going into Facebook and commenting on 10 people's comments, share something, promote someone else's business, whatever. You've got to figure out your sales channels, and then you have to know specifically what activities those are so that you can fill the hour with the activities that you have decided on in which to grow your business. So staying engaged for the full hour focused is tremendous. People will call me when they start putting this in place and they say, oh my gosh, I cannot believe how much I got done because I wasn't multitasking. I wasn't answering every email. I wasn't checking my phone every 5 seconds. I wasn't on Facebook. I wasn't trying to get through level 87 of Candy Crush. I mean, when they are focused, they usually they'll call me and say, oh my God, I got so much done. Like, I ran out of stuff to do. I ran out of people to call. Because we never do it focused. We never spend an hour without multitasking. It is so powerful. And that's why the people that are using this AMS have transformed their careers. They don't even feel like they work as hard. They're like, I work so smart now, it's ridiculous. I can't remember the last time I worked on a Sunday. I mean, it's really empowering, and it's so exciting when I see people study, practice, put into action, and review and revise, spar with the material of momentum. That's when it becomes transformational. It's not, knowing this stuff is not going to transform one single thing in your life. Knowing it doesn't mean anything. You have to do it. You have to live it. It needs to get in your DNA. And the only way that happens is if you spar with it and you start taking action. So we already know that we can't manage time, right? So we want to make sure that you're vital every day. So this is just a sample of what it could look like on any given day. From 8 to 10, I'm going to lead generate. Then I'm going to go ahead and block out. I know I have a lot of clients right now, so I'm going to go ahead and block 4 hours for client care, follow up on this listing, blah, 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 right? Marketing a listing is not lead generation. That really is servicing that client. So whatever activities that you have, your service commitments, that would be considered CC. Now, is there a side benefit that you'll may get some leads from it? Yes. But if you're promoting a listing and such, I would keep that in the client care. I would keep that in client care. Then you have lunch, then a little more LG and LC in the afternoon, then maybe you have a closing, so you have more CC, and then some other admin and follow-up. See, I build in for all the stuff that I say it just came up, or, oh, I didn't have time for this. No, yes, you do. You have time at 4:30 to go through all those emails that you're going to delete anyway and not read. So you have to start taking control. You need to take control of your schedule. And focus is so important. So if you get into lead generation, do not take the call that comes in. And you shouldn't know that there's a call coming in because you should have your phone on Do Not Disturb. But never leave the block. And the two that are really important that you don't leave are lead generation and lead conversion. Because if I get in the mode of generating leads and I'm calling for sale by owners or I'm calling my past clients, I need to be upbeat and I need to have a smile on and I need to be friendly and I need to be in the who can I help mode today. If I take a call 15 minutes in that the appraisal didn't come out right on the house that my buyer loves, I'm now going to go into, I'm going to save the world mode, which of course we know that we have no control over that. And I'm going to abandon my lead generation. And trust me, you're not going to come back and finish the last 45 minutes. That appraisal issue will have you off kilter for 3 days. It's ridiculous. And you won't do any other activity either. So if that does happen to you, that's why we have Sunday, because we can get on Sunday and look and say, what did I do? Oh my gosh, that appraisal got me off track. Holy moly, I lost 3 days lead generation. I better bump it up this week. Because if I let 2 weeks go by without good lead generation and lead conversion and no appointments, I'll be out of business pretty soon. You've got to stay on track. You've got to stay focused. Finding out that the appraisal didn't come in at 9:15 or 10 o'clock, it's the same. Don't get into this reactive mode. Don't be like a Pavlov's dog that every time the phone rings, you got to pick it up. You do not have to. We are not delivering babies. So you need to take control. And if you're in a good, positive mood, good, positive things are going to happen when you lead generate. It's amazing how that works, but you got to be in the right mindset. So just remember that when you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So you got to think, am I doing the right things? Am I doing the right things? It's so critical. So you won't be sure, right? You won't know for sure how to fully account for everything unless you do this on your own for about a week. So what I encourage you to do is write down everything you do in the next week. So just get a sheet Monday through Friday or Monday to Sunday and just have it every hour. And there's probably one in here. So stop yourself on the hour, write down what you were doing, and then what I want you to do is code it. Was it LG, LC, CC, PD, or were you just off? And when you track your own behavior for a week, what'll happen is you'll start to see the patterns of how you behave and things that can get you off track and times of the day where you feel better and where you were more energized to do something. So it's not like a homework assignment. It's just a homework for yourself. So it's not like you have to turn it in, but it's very, very powerful. Oh my gosh, I'll usually try to do this at least 4 times a year, and it's scary sometimes how much I have gotten off my schedule. And how distracted I myself can become. So it's really fascinating. But it's just a great exercise for you to do. So do that for a week, then you'll be able to analyze and say, okay, let me go ahead and start putting in my activities management system and do it off of your natural patterns. People are always like, all right, I'm gonna make up my schedule right now. And they make up a schedule that intuitively isn't even aligned with their belief system. It's not even aligned with, they have on their 8 o'clock lead generation. And they call people in their database. But they're not going to call them at 8 o'clock on a Wednesday. So then Wednesday comes and they're like, oh, they're probably at work. Now I feel stupid. I'll just try to call them later. And so think about what your activities are. That'll make so much more sense when you put together your AMS. So you have to work from a vital activities checklist. You have to. We spend so much time doing stuff, either one, that is not productive, that has no bearing on our business, that we probably shouldn't even be doing. And that's just a waste of time. Oh my gosh, I see it all the time. So we need to make sure that we operate from an activities checklist. Okay. So effective time blocking will always result in a productive day. So here we're going to just quickly go through these vital activities for listings and for buyers. And what I would encourage you to do is the next time you get a buyer or the next time you get a listing, I want you to take out this checklist and I want you to put a check mark next to everything that you currently do, cross off things that are not in your wheelhouse, and add in things that maybe are not reflected in here. This is a guideline. You may have different service commitments, so there may be, do the virtual tour, do this. So what you want to do is just make sure that you operate from this list. So step 1, you'll notice, is find a seller. So before you can ever worry about your systems and how you're going to service clients or any of that, you have to go find one. So you have to have 3 solid sales channels that you can translate into those lead generating activities 4 hours a week. So it's either for sale by owners, farming, just sold, social networks, expireds, your network, your database, your working by referral, whatever it is, Facebook ads, whatever you do to generate leads on a regular basis, you should have 3 different ways that you're trying to master. You're trying to master 3 different modes of growing your business. And then we have the conversion. So after we've generated a lead, now we need to get them into the conversion. This is the appointment. So asking good pre-listing questions. Do you have a list of what you ask people before you go to their house, or do you just run out there and try to wing it? You need to be prepared. And so then we go into the pricing tools. That's the 7-step pricing strategy. So powerful. That has been a huge game changer. Huge game changer for the realtors that have embraced the 7-step pricing strategy. Home run for them. Confirm the appointment, prepare the listing agreement, get on the listing channel. What we mean by that is just when you're going on a listing, you need to be super focused on the experience that is going to unfold for you and for that potential client. So get the appraisal out of your mind, get the buyer out of your mind, get whatever's going on at home out of your mind. Really get in and visualize a positive outcome. Have that listing agreement already filled out and ready to go, except for the dates and the price. Go in there with an upbeat energy and with gratitude that you had the opportunity to go and meet with these people. And how great is this? Oh my gosh, tell me what's going on. Tell me what your plans are. Tell me what a best case scenario is going to be. So you're going to go through that whole appointment, but you got to be there. Be there and pour yourself into these people. Of course, arrive on time. Then you're going to have the listing conversation. So when we teach the listing conversion class in Momentum, this is where we go through all of these things in 8. We set the tone, uncover the needs, prioritize, transition to the pricing tools, review the pricing information, agree on the entry point, talk about my role and their role, agree on everything, close in on the listing agreement, explain it, right? And then review the staging plan. So that whole listing conversion course is so powerful. Oh, it's so powerful. And then you have separately the pricing bootcamp. So remember, they're not all intertwined into one. It's a separate piece. And then you're going to sign the listing agreement. So here, we don't have to measure rooms here in Georgia, but you might have to in your marketplace. Complete the MLS input, take the pictures, right? You might have a professional photographer go out. So adapt this list so that it follows all the things that you do. And the reason it's so important to have all these laid out and all committed into paper is twofold. One, it keeps you on track and it makes sure that nothing falls through the cracks. The other thing it does is it enables you to figure out areas that you're able to delegate as you grow and you get busier and busier. You don't want to be the one that's contacting the showing service or creating a listing file. You're hopeful that you're able to have an assistant that can help you with this. And what I see most agents do, unfortunately, is they keep all this in their head, they hire an assistant, and they get into the whole thing of, well, it's just easier if I do it. It's too hard to train. I don't feel like training somebody. I'm like, well, then don't bother hiring anybody, because you have to pour yourself into people on the front end so you don't have to micromanage them on the back end. So the first 90 days is going to be, you're going to be living with that person, showing them all the things that you want them to do so they know it inside and out. You've got to spend so much time. If you don't have an expectation of really training someone what to take off your plate, then just don't do it. It's always a failure. Always. I see it over and over and over again. And half the reason is because they don't even start with a list of what they do. It's all in my head. Big mistake. Marketing and exposure. Again, you're going to write down all the things that you do. They're going to have a lot of social media stuff in it. Remember, Momentum was created a couple of years ago. So you'll notice that we're in 2018 now. There's a lot of stuff we do that's not even on this list. There's some stuff on this list that, I don't do that. We'll take it off. We're not trying to have you just do this list. We want you to create one that wins for you and wins for your client and provides a high level of service. So I'm always happy to help people create their list. But the best time to do it is the next time you get a client. Write everything down that you do for them. Just have a notepad out and, oh, I just mailed them a thank you note. Well, let me write that down. Mailed them a thank you note. You don't even have to put it in the right order. Just get everything out of your head onto paper. It's such a great, empowering start. Presenting and negotiating, right? So you know all this, closing prep, post-closing activities, and now we flip to the buyer activities. It's the same thing. If you look at what you're doing during the day and it's nothing on this one of these lists for buyers and sellers, then we got a problem. Because if you're generating leads, it should be on this list. Okay, yeah, I'm networking. Oh, I'm doing open houses. Oh, I'm doing that. So this is what keeps you vital, so that you don't just flip around twiddling your thumbs going, I don't know what to do today. You've got to figure it out. And if you don't know, ask. You've got to be willing to ask for help. That's the other thing I see. So many people get in this business and they're never really given clear direction. They don't really know what they're doing. So they never get a muscle working in that lead generation. They're not getting better at anything. They're not getting good skills because no one's giving them direction and they don't feel comfortable asking. So please, please, please always ask. I don't know what to do. You know, if you've never done this before, then how are you expected to know what the heck to do? If you've never generated leads before, if you've never owned your own company, how on earth would you know how to do it? You got to ask. I ask for help all the time if I don't know how to do something. I'm not going to try to figure it out. Why? Someone else out there knows how to do it. Go on Facebook, ask me, ask the broker, ask your support team, ask a fellow agent. Ask, ask, ask. Be willing to say, I have not a clue. Good, then we can work with that. We can work with that. So you're gonna have the same thing here. Remember, we have the conversion, buyer conversion class. Powerful, powerful, powerful way to take your buyers through a high quality strategy session to a successful purchase and close with minimum frustration. So it's so important that you take people through these high quality experiences, because 9 out of 10 realtors would like to work by referral. But it's all the experience that you give people. It's not the fact that you help them find the house. It's the experience that they went through that's going to generate the referral. And again, you have all these things. So when you get a buyer, start writing down everything you do. Look at this list to say, ooh, I don't do that. Maybe I should. That's a good idea. Oh, I think I'll add that into my business. So look at all this as an opportunity to get better, to grow, to enjoy the journey, and to experience all the fun that this industry is and all the fun that you can have in growing your business. It becomes a game. It's fun. It's like, oh, I want to do that. That's going to be fun. Oh, yeah, I'm going to mail a customer survey, or I'm going to email one. I'd mail one. Everybody's doing email, and it's so ineffective. Most people delete half of what you send. Let's go backwards. Start using the mail. So much more effective. Better yet, call them. Hey, I wanted to, just ask a couple of questions. My husband just bought a car, and oh my gosh, the follow-up is ridiculous. The customer service gal, oh, I'm calling, how was everything? Did you enjoy everything? Oh, I see that you have a service call. What's up? You just bought the truck. What's going on? I mean, there's everybody. They've just been like pouring over him. And I just look at that and say, oh my gosh, we should be doing that in real estate. Why aren't, spoil the heck out of your clients. Spoil your clients. So that is activities management in a nutshell. A good starting base for you. Of course, there's nothing better than taking the class. So the next time that activities management is offered, I encourage you to get in there. And even if you've taken the class before, get in there again. Get in there again. You will pick up more and more every time you let this seep in, so that you get it here, and then you actually start doing it. So I look forward to helping you and chatting. Of course, always reach out if you have any questions.